What's up everybody, Smyers here. Today I want to show you how to make the bass stabs from Focus by John Summit featuring Cloves. Alright, welcome back to the channel, and just as a reminder, please go ahead and give this video a like and please subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed. The bass stabs in Focus, they sounded relatively simple to make, but they sounded like there were a few layers, and I wanted to try to come up with something where I could just have a single preset that was like a brassy bass stab that I thought would work and sound close to the original. So let me just play you what I came up with. These are the bass stabs with the track. And all I'm doing is just playing the root notes G sharp, A flat, I like to G flat, F sharp, and then D flat are those bass notes. And I'll just play this on my keyboard. So this sound is actually pretty evil sounding. You can make it really evil and use it in a lot of cool ways. This Focus song, I feel like it's really happy. So these stabs, you could probably use them in any other genre, like even like D&B. I think it would be cool. So let me just turn this up and let me duplicate this and I'll turn it up on a separate track. To get these stabs to sound epic, it depends a lot on the reverb. I tested out a few reverbs. I tested out the Valhalla Vintage Verb, but I felt like the default reverb on Ableton actually got this sound close to where I wanted it. I made some adjustments, like I added on this low cut, took off this high cut. I played around with this size, the pre-delay, the decay. That's a pretty long decay. And then I adjusted this dry and wet, and I think I played around with this diffusion network I took off. There was like a low shelf here, or a high shelf, I took that off. So let me just take this off, and I'm gonna remake this from scratch. Here it is in Serum. So I'll just initialize this preset and put this voicing on mono. Just go ahead and take the oscillator A down. And for oscillator A, I like this Icon Has Kick wavetable. And I'll take this up to about 125. Just gonna take down the randomness there, and then this level, just adjust it slightly. I want a pretty long release. And I'll adjust that curve. Then my envelope 1, I'm gonna make some adjustments to this envelope 1. So it looks a bit like this. And I'll assign this envelope 1 to the wavetail position. It's going to give it a bit of an impact sound like that. And I'll set the modulation to about 20, 25 or so. And then I'm going to add on my oscillator B. You can do just the default, or you could do a saw wave in the basic shapes. And I'll take this to -1 on the octave. But I want to give this one, this is where I'm going to get the width from, so I will do 7 voices of unison, taking this detune down to 15. And that gives the width while also having that crunchy sound in the center that is coming from this Icon Has Kick sound wavetable. Then I'll go into my noise, add on the alpha and Z noise. Now in the actual track, the bass stab sounds like it's layered with a tom hit or some other hit impact sound. I don't know what it is, but I just tried to replicate that with the noise. So I will assign the envelope to this noise, and I'll set that modulation to around 65. By itself, you hear that noise sound, but when you add on the reverb, then it washes that out a bit. Now I do want, as this fades out, to not be as bright, and to do that I will add on a MGLO 6 filter, but just for A and B, and I will assign this envelope 1 to the A and B, hit Shift Option on my keyboard, and I will adjust this cutoff modulation and set this modulation to 30 to 40, 37. Let's do this. Now let's head into the effects section, and I will do the hard clip distortion with this drive on 79 and also this mix at 100. And I want a bit more distortion on the initial hit of this stab. So I will just take the envelope 2 and assign it to this drive. Gives it more of that brass horn vibe. And this is just because I was trying to match it with the song, but maybe you don't need this in your own track. I have this reverb, this EQ where I'm just cutting off the low end and cutting off some of the top end. Just to round it out a bit, but you don't always need this high cut here. And that's what it sounds like in Serum. And you could add in the reverb in Serum. Let me just play around with this. That's not bad, but the reverb in Ableton, I felt like I was able to get that a bit more a bit brighter, and then also get a bit of reflections or something by adjusting the size of it. So that's just why I use this reverb, and I always try to stick within Serum, so you can always just put the reverb on there if you like, or like just for a preset, I'll probably, when I create this as a preset, put on this reverb, but a lot of times I just assume people take off the reverb anyway when they're using these presets for mixing. A lot of times reverb on these presets, a lot of times they're just for like reference, but sometimes I think there is a specific sound to the reverb in Serum where you can almost recognize that people are using the reverb from Serum. But a lot of times I'll just use the default one or this Valhalla Vintage Verb, because this one is also a very popular reverb that a lot of people use. So that's how you make that bass stab sound. I think also like, oh, now we have 2 reverbs on. I could lower that dry when wet mix. I think also like this song, it's in for some reason in Beatport, it's in like the melodic house and techno chart. I don't know if it fits within that or if it's like tech house, but this stab, you could definitely use it for like D&B. I think it'd work pretty nice in that style of track. So anyway, if you do want to grab this preset, I'll put it in my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also please subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed. And if you'd like to check out any of my senior preset packs, head on over to store.samsmyers.com.